Now, you can't emulate Nintendo games, that's stealing. Nintendo work hard on their games, and you should buy their consoles and play them on the consoles instead. Get the hell out of here with that bullshit, and I'm going to explain why you're wrong.
You yourself have admitted you're unattractive. So what makes you think your audience wants your face that close to the camera?
A little bit more. Because, uh, for the life of me, I think I'm incredibly unattractive.
Hello everybody, Mr. J here, back here to explain basic business practices to a bunch of idiots. And what's the basic business practices we're explaining today? Well, today we're going to learn about intellectual property and copyright laws because these people don't seem to understand what they mean.
Imagine if you were a young developer, say 13, 14, and you made a fan game, and you're really proud of it, you spent months of your life into it, and you're going to release it on the web for free, maybe part of some contest or something. But then Nintendo say, if you publish this game for free, we're going to sue you. Yeah, imagine how that would make you feel. Would you want to be a developer?
Now, he does have a bit of a point, and that's kind of bullshit. And I won't deny, I agree with some of the things he says in this video involving Nintendo's treatment of content creators when it comes to them posting gameplay from Nintendo games. But here's the thing he's failing to mention. Now, yes, it is wrong for Nintendo to sue that young developer, but they are well within their legal right due to the fact being of, did that young developer use a character that Nintendo owns? Because legally speaking, unless you ask that company for permission to use their copyrighted, trademarked, intellectual property character, then you are breaking the law.
No, you wouldn't. But Nintendo don't see a problem with this. That's just another way of making money for them, fucking over their fans.
Call it fucking over their fans. I call it protecting their business through legal means. You need to understand something. None of you people own the rights to any of these characters. So yes, you can feel free to make your fan games and you can base them off of Nintendo characters. But you shouldn't make a fan game using Nintendo's copyrighted protected characters unless you get permission from them.
Let's talk about people on YouTube. Let's Players, game reviewers. If you had, I think it was 11 seconds of footage, Nintendo thought that they were owed all of the ad revenue that your video made. So they falsely content ID'd your video. And because of such a big company like Nintendo, they don't have to obey the rules. What's a bunch of content creators going to do about it?
Now, yes, granted, on Nintendo's part, that whole content ID thing they were doing, well, still are doing, is bullshit. But you can't tell Nintendo to do things the right and legal way when you just encouraged a bunch of people to do things the illegal way. That just makes you look like a hypocrite. Now, I'm going to skip ahead a bit because I agree with what Vanguard's saying about Nintendo and their bullshit copyright ID claims. It's one of the reasons I stop uploading gameplay from Nintendo and why I don't monetize my videos as well. So with that being said, if you guys want to check out Vanguard's full video, the link is in the description below. Even though honestly, my original point still stands. I can't take his opinion seriously with with these ears on. But oh wait, I forgot. When he has the ears on, he's not speaking his stupid opinion, he's speaking facts. Oh god.
He just admitted it. Apparently, all of my opinions are now irrelevant, which news to me. So I could say 2 plus 2 is no longer 4 now because I said it's no longer true. If I take them off, now 2 plus 2 equals 4. But when I've got these on, facts don't matter, okay? So they got away with it. And that's not right. That's wrong. That is stealing. That is genuine stealing. That's not emulating. That's stealing. Emulating games is not stealing. If you can't be asked to release your game on the PC, don't be surprised when people emulate it.
Bulletberry made a video about emulation, and I disagree with some of the things he said. Yes, people, emulating is stealing. If you own or get a product that you didn't pay for, it's stealing. If you take somebody's property that you didn't pay for, it is stealing. So yes, people, emulation in a way is stealing. Now sure, you have some people out here like Fratanga who claims that he bought Breath of the Wild and then he emulated. I'm okay with that because he still bought the game. But you people who just download the emulator and then start downloading every game you've ever wanted to play without paying a single cent for it, yes, people, that is stealing. because you're taking somebody's property without permission or without paying for it.
Like, if you want sales on the PC, then release a game on the PC.
But here's the thing, just like when Nintendo wanted to enter the mobile market, if they wanted to release their games on PC, they would have done it by now.
Like, don't expect us to buy your dog shit consoles, because Nintendo consoles are utter dog shit. It's not the consumer's responsibility to buy any old shit that you want to release, okay? Scumbag companies like Nintendo need to realize this. This is an overpriced piece of junk.
The console you're holding in your hand is a $50 fucking console these days, and it's one of the easiest consoles to mod, so what are you talking about? The next thing I want to go over is we can talk about a little begging. And I'm sure a lot of you PC guys don't know about this, but for us console guys, we all remember Operation Rainfall, that little thing where we made a bunch of petitions begging Nintendo to release these Japanese RPGs like Xenoblade Chronicles and The Last Story over here in North America. And we used a petition to beg. How ironic. A link in the description explaining Operation Rainfall in further detail will be below. So enjoy that.
This is the reason that fan games and young developers get put down. This is part of the reason YouTubers need to beg for money.
God, I hope that Wii is broken. But then again, the Wii was built like a fucking tank. I dropped mine down the stairs, same with my GameCube, and it still worked. The disc was scratched up that was inside of it, but it still worked.
I'm going to get a lot of hate for saying this. But the truth is, I don't care.
Now's the part where I skip ahead a little bit because he doesn't really say anything that I can counter here. But in the later part in this video coming up, he says something incredibly retarded. That and another PC gamer said something utterly fucking stupid. And I need to comment on it because, well, I'm an attention whore.
Rot in piss, Satoru Iwata. If you think
Don't you ever disrespect the dead, you egotistical little shit.
this is what Gamergate was about. Like, you probably think that Gamergate was about hating women or whatever. No. It was about getting rid of shitty practices in the gaming industry. It was about companies being honest with their customers.
Yeah, but outside being vague with their hardware, when has Nintendo ever flat out lied to us the way that Microsoft has? You know, when Microsoft came out and said, guys, the Xbox One S is going to be playing all games at native 4K 60 frames per second resolution. When has Nintendo ever done that? Has Nintendo ever came out and said, don't worry guys, we understand that these content claims are bullshit, but we're going to stop doing them, and then continues to do them? When has Nintendo ever done that?
And that's what Nintendo needs to do. They need to start being honest with their customers. Nintendo are just bleeding you dry. The hole that they're burning in your wallet is expanding bigger than a nerdy guy's asshole in prison.
Now, personally, I don't even like Vanguard, but even I have to give them that joke. That was pretty funny.
Like, whether it's artificially inflating the prices of the little amiibo figures by purposely holding some back in stock so they're worth more, but the stock isn't changed.
Now, granted, I will say that it is Nintendo's fault that they don't know how to keep up with supply and demand and inflation. But this is the problem I have. You're implying that it's Nintendo's fault that scalpers exist. You're implying that it's Nintendo's fault that we have these jackasses who go out there and buy 6, 7 copies of the Guardian amiibo, so I have to wait 5 fucking months to find one. I fucking hate these guys.
Whether it's falsely flagging YouTube videos just to squeeze out even more money from them that they need way more than Nintendo do. Like, this is a multi-billion-dollar corporation stealing from individual people.
Yeah, but you guys steal from that corporation and don't have a problem with it.
Or whether it's the bullying of fan game developers, whether it's the bullying of people who dare to make emulators for systems that they can't even be bothered to make ports to, like, Nintendo are a piece of shit company. Like, they do not deserve your money. Why don't you... I'd rather buy a PlayStation or an Xbox than Nintendo any day of the week. Nintendo are easily my least favourite console publisher.
So, in other words, you're biased against Nintendo for extremely arbitrary reasons. I mean, outside that content ID thing, the whole you guys shouldn't be punishing independent developers for using, our characters that we own, that we created. I'm sorry, Vanguard, but your entire argument about that is fucking stupid. So now we move on to the next point in my video. And the next point is this new guy. I'm going to link his video in the description below because, well, I mean, I didn't watch his whole video because this first part I saw, he said something really stupid. And like these PC guys, when I hear something stupid, well, I just jump at the fucking opportunity.
Do you guys remember that girl who said Horizon Zero Dawn was a feminist game? Or something along those lines? I never actually watched the video. Anyway, she's back making dumb comments saying that exclusives aren't anti-consumer. And seeing as my upload schedule over the past 3 weeks is pretty much similar to my will to live, both are non-existent, I figured I'd at least get one of those in the positive and talk about it. So without further ado, I'll have to cut away from these fancy new graphics that I made into this awful video.
I would like most of the people who sit here and bitch about exclusives, I would like for us who don't do this, I would like for them all to realize that most of these people started gaming last generation. So their complaints about gaming, like exclusive games, is completely arbitrary. Their complaints of, oh, you're holding games hostage, is fucking stupid.
Hi my fellow gamers and welcome back to another video on my channel.
Alright, so right off the bat, I've got a couple pet peeves. First off, saying hello, fellow gamers. No one's your fellow. Literally no one likes you. And second off, I never get when people are like, hello, end today. Like, what are you saying end from? The way you should be saying that is, hello, today we are doing X. You just pause. I know this doesn't have anything to do with the video, but it just annoys me so much when this happens.
You know what annoys me? When people like you start nitpicking things within the first 2 to 3 minutes of their video. And if you're going to nitpick something, at least make it funny. Like, for example, oh my god, her voice. Oh, I can't take this. She sounds like a fucking chipette.
Today I want to take a closer look at the ridiculous console and PC war. And more specifically, I want to find out if exclusives are anti-consumer.
I mean, they are. It restricts certain things from other people and forces them to spend extra money to get a different platform. It's a shit marketing ploy. Anyway, I'll just save my arguments for later in the video when she actually brings them up.
Notice when these PC guys complain about exclusive games and call them anti-consumer, they're only complaining about games on Sony's end. They say nothing about games like Sunset Overdrive, which haven't made their way over to PC. And they say nothing about these PC exclusive games like Thief 1 and 2 or the System Shock games that the PS4 and Xbox One can run. They say nothing about these games coming over to consoles, but they want to bitch about Sony's games. I'm really sick and tired of this double standard when it comes to exclusives are anti-consumer. Either all of them are or none of them aren't.
As we all know, PlayStation is the dominating console when it comes to exclusives.
I mean, I'd say yes, I'm not really qualified in this, and I know PlayStation is getting Brawlhalla, so they're A-okay in my books. I'm just kidding, I don't get why they're porting it over, like you can play Brawlhalla on a potato. Anyway, back to what I was talking.
Why do I have to repeat something that you guys say all the time? Maybe they're porting it over so they can make more money?
About. I mean, like, sure, they have what I would consider better exclusives, but you can't really say dominating the exclusive market just because people's perceptions of games are fucking subjective. I just don't get when people say, like, oh, our exclusives are better. No, not necessarily.
Yeah, but generally when we say our exclusives are better, or when people say their exclusives are better, they're talking about review scores. And if you look at the review scores for this year, the PlayStation has had more highly reviewed exclusives. We've had Neo, Nier Automata, Gravity Rush 2, Persona 5, and Horizon Zero Dawn, just to name a few. And then also Crash that just recently came out. While the Xbox has had Halo Wars 2 and the Switch has had Splatoon and Zelda Breath of the Wild. These great games and their high reviews give consumers a reason to go out and buy these consoles because these games are great and you can only play these games on these platforms.
An incredible amount of people bought a PS4 to play their first-party games like the most recent Horizon Zero Dawn, Nier Automata, Uncharted 4, or Bloodborne, only to name a few.
Bloodborne isn't a first-party exclusive, and Nier isn't even an exclusive because you can play it on PC, and I think it's available on Steam. Somebody correct me in the comments or not if I'm wrong about that, but I'm pretty sure Nier Automata is on Steam.
None of these games are first party, and in fact, none of the games produced for the PlayStation are first party. Take Nintendo, for instance. Nintendo makes first party games. The games are made by Nintendo. That's what makes it first party. The first party are the people who produce the console, the second party is you, and the third party are other people. These games that she listed are not first party, they are third party exclusive games. Games made by other companies, such as Naughty Dog, that are then trapped just to the console. I just think it's funny that she hasn't done the research in this regard, because it took me all of 5 seconds to.
It took you all of 5 seconds to be fucking wrong. First off, Naughty Dog has been owned by Sony since the 90s. Guerrilla Games has been owned by Sony since the PlayStation 2, and so has many other companies. So guess what? If Sony owns those companies, and if Sony pays for those companies to make games, if those companies get their money for development of their games and their projects from Sony, guess what that makes them? That makes them first party fucking studios, because they don't work for any other company. Now, yeah, granted, Naughty Dog released that game Keith the Thief, but after that they start working on Crash Bandicoot, and since then they've been only making Sony first party exclusive games. So this stupid comment of yours, you need to take this out of your video, redo this entire video, because you're fucking wrong.
None of these games are first party, and in fact, none of the games produced for the PlayStation are first party. The games produced for the PlayStation are first party. The games produced for the PlayStation are first party. The games produced for the PlayStation are first party.
Oh, wait, you serious? Let me laugh even harder.